Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for today's webinar. My name is Will Lewis, and I am the Customer Relations Manager for Utah at Texthelp, the makers of Read&Write. I work together with my colleague Paul Brown, the Vice President of Western North America at Texthelp, to help school districts achieve their student support objectives with our award-winning line of programs. Today I'm going to show you the basics of Read&Write for Google Chrome and how Read&Write for Google Chrome can help your students in the Google Apps environment, a technology environment in which tens of thousands of students are working in on a daily basis in many classrooms across the state of Utah. So, what is Read&Write? Read&Write is what we call a Swiss Army knife of student support tools. We have text-to-speech, dictionaries, word prediction, proofing tools, and study skills support tools. But the thing to take away from this is it helps all students with their reading and writing and with their confidence in the classroom. It works on many different platforms, including Mac, Android, iPad, Windows, and Google Chrome, which we're going to talk about today the most. So again, what is Read&Write for Google Chrome? It has it used to have over 4 million users worldwide, but it is now up to 5 million users worldwide, and that is growing daily. Something that our Chief Technology Officer and founder, Martin Mackay, stresses about the toolbar is that it is, he wants to keep it simple. And what I mean by that is we want to keep this one toolbar easily deployed, integrated into the Google environment, and you would be dealing with one vendor, and that's Texthelp. Whenever you have technical questions or any questions, you can come to us because we are the sole source provider of the program. Read&Write works in what I like to call a couple of different environments. It works in Google Docs, web pages in the Chrome browser, PDFs, and then if you also have KESI files, the kind of files that are in Kurzweil, we can access those as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to jump into the program. And it looks like we have a question here. And the first thing I want to show you is one of the most basic features, but one of the most popular features on the toolbar, which is text-to-speech. And the way that you use text-to-speech is all you do is you just have to click on this, on a block of text, highlight it with your cursor, and then go up and you press play.
Earth is the third planet from the Sun and the densest and fifth largest of the 8 planets in the solar system.
Now you'll notice that when I press play, we had the yellow highlighting the passage and then the blue going over the spoken word. I'll do that again so you can see that.
Earth's biosphere then significant.
That is what we call our dual highlighting, and our dual highlighting has been shown to increase students' comprehensions by up to 5 grade levels in some cases. It really helps with them following along with what they're seeing on the screen. The other thing you'll notice that when you first install Read&Write for Google Chrome, it will prompt you to accept permissions so that it can work within your Google Drive. When that is complete, you will see this purple puzzle piece right here, and when you click it, it will show the features and hide the features when you click it again. This feature right here is what we call our discoverability factor with the toolbar. It really helps with, when students see this for the first time, they say, what is that purple puzzle piece? When you click on it and you see all the features, students are, they're naturally curious and they want to, explore these tools. And there is a whole bunch of tools on, as you can see, on the toolbar, and it is growing it seems like monthly. Now, if I go into my settings over here, we have the ability to change the speed of the text-to-speech, and we also have the ability to change the voice. We have all these different international voices available: UK, Mexican, Spanish. all the way down to Polish. We also can go into the Features tab right here, and we can show and hide features. This is one of our newer features. When I click here, it will hide features that I don't want to see. And this is a good trick to use sometimes with our younger grades. If you want to start them off with maybe just the text-to-speech tools or just the dictionaries, you can do that. You can set it up however you'd like. You can also move the features and order them on the toolbar however you would prefer. You also have the ability to go into, we have a multi-language toolbar setting right here. I can change the language settings, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to jump into this Spanish document right here, and I'm going to go to my settings, and I'm going to change my voice to Mexican Spanish Paulina, and I'm going to go to the language tab right here and change the language to Spanish. You'll notice when I do that, it's going to change all of the features into Spanish right here. And then when I go over here and highlight the text, it will read it aloud in Spanish.
2 días después que el Pleno del Senado abriera el debate de la reforma migratoria, los legisladores rechazaron el jueves.
We also have the ability, when you go here and I click on this word, if I go over and I click on dictionary, it's going to give the definition of the word in Spanish as well. And then I can press play and it will read it in Spanish.
Senado nombre masculino. 1. Órgano político en el que están representados los distintos territorios de un país y que Senado nombre masculino.
And that's pretty much, the basics of, the text-to-speech and being able to, change the language right here. I'm going to go back here now, and I'm going to change it back to English. And I'm going to change my voice back to English as well. Press OK. Now, the next thing I want to show you is, and I've already kind of given you a preview to this, is the dictionaries. If I go here and I click on the word Earth and highlight that with my cursor, if I go up to the book here, you'll notice that I have my dictionary console. And for each definition, I have a play button. Now, when I click on the play button, it will read that definition out loud.
Noun. The planet that we live on, Earth, is very pretty from...
And it will also put the dual highlighting on the definition. That is another one of our newer features, and that was a request that we were getting from our users out there. Our developers are very responsive to requests that we get from our users. The other thing that we have the ability to do is we have a visual representation database, a picture dictionary for words. If we go here and we click on sun, I can go over here and click on the picture dictionary. And what it's going to do is it's going to tap into a widget symbols database. Widget symbols makes educational images, and they've been around for a long time. And that is where we're getting our images from. And we have the ability to drag and drop these images right into the document so that you can make a lot of different activities with the toolbar, or with the picture dictionary. But sometimes, maybe we want to take the definition and the visual representation of the word, and we want to put them in the same place. And that is where our vocab list builder tool comes into play. What I can do here is I've highlighted the word earth in blue and highlighted sun in yellow. Once I've highlighted a few words, if I go over here and I click on vocabulary, you'll notice on the right it says a new document containing your vocabulary list is being created. And then after a couple of seconds, it's going to populate a vocab list with the word, the meaning, and the symbol, and then a note section. And this is just a Google Doc at this point. I can edit it as I please. I can delete the pictures that I don't want. And we can go in many different directions with this. We could change this to like words. And instead of Earth, we could put Mars or Venus. Sun, we could put star. Heat, Florida. we can have a lot of different fun. We can have a lot of fun with this tool. If you want to, as a teacher, make your own vocabulary lists and then send it out to students. You can do that. You can share it out with them. Endless possibilities with the vocab list builder. You can make your own study guides with it. You could use it on the web as well. What I'm going to do now, though, is I'm going to jump back into this document, and I want to show you our word prediction tool. Now, word prediction right here, it's under the, when I click on the crystal ball icon, I can click that, and it's going to enable my word prediction tool. And then when I start to type in TOD, you'll notice that today pops up. Now, the reason why that happens is our word prediction tool is tapping into the Google Book database that has over 300 million books in it, and our algorithm is looking 3 words ahead at all times. And so when I type in TOD, it's going into that system and it's saying, okay, in the history of literature, when I type in TOD, what am I probably getting at? I'm probably getting at today, and it will read it out loud. Today, I walked to
school.
And it will populate that. This is a great way to improve students' word choice and help them with writing more, because as teachers we always want our students to write more on paper, and this is a great way to this is a great tool to encourage that. You'll also notice here that we have the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When if you want, you can hit Control and the number, and it will populate the word there. So if students want to do it that way, they can. The other thing is that I wanted to show you too is in the writing features is we have a speech input tool up here, which is very popular. And the reason why it's so popular is because there is no training whatsoever. So when I enable it, I can start talking right on this Google Doc with no training whatsoever. And it is very accurate. And students absolutely love it because it gives them a different way to write as opposed to typing. Period. Now, we can also go into our drop-down menu, and we have different languages available. So if you have Spanish-speaking students, it has all the different dialects available, and we can we can select it. So if you want Mexican Spanish, you can select it, and it will put all of the notations in as well. It's a really fun tool, and students like it because they can talk onto the paper and then read it back with text-to-speech. And we get a lot of good feedback from students of all backgrounds saying how much they love the speech input tool. In the same kind of vein with voice, we have something called the voice note. Now the voice note, it's kind of built around the comment feature in Google Docs, which you might all be aware of, and being able to do that. Now, with the voice note feature, I can go here and I can click on a passage of text, and I can click on this button right here, the voice note button. And when I do that, my voice note console will pop up, and then I can say something along the lines of, please review this passage for the quiz next week. Thank you. And then I can go and press insert. And then after a couple of seconds, it's going to take that audio file and it's going to put it right into that Google Doc, referring to that section that I highlighted, and then when I press play, it will read it out loud. Please review this passage for the quiz next week. Thank you. Now the other great thing about this is we can use this in test-taking situations too. So imagine this is a test right here. We could have students set up a Google Doc like this, 1 answer here, 2 answer here, 3 answer here. And I could go here and I could click, I could highlight that and then go over here to the voice note feature and click. This is my answer to the first question on the test. And then insert it. This is my answer to the first question on the test. And this is a fun way to mix it up in terms of test taking. And then maybe if you have ELL students, maybe they're not comfortable with typing English yet, and maybe they're better at speaking English. You could have them take the test with the voice note feature, and it gives you up to a minute. You can also use it in situations when correcting students, their papers. You could do that as well. So what I'm going to do now is I want to jump into a website, because this is another popular place where the read and write tools are used. Now, the way that I enable the web toolbar is when you have Read and Write for Google Chrome deployed out, you will see a purple puzzle piece on the right-hand side of your Chrome browser. And if I click on that, it's going to enable the web toolbar, which I can then drag it around the website and put it where I want to, and then I can use all the tools that I showed you before and a couple more.
In prehistoric times, millions of bison roamed North America from the forests of Alaska.
Now, the other great thing that we actually just released this during back to school. When you're on websites, sometimes maybe you have students with visual impairments, or you want them to focus in on a specific part of a website. We have a new tool called the Screen Mask tool. When I click on that, it's going to make this little focus area that's going to follow along with my cursor. And it's a great way to focus in on a specific part of the page. And then when I want to turn it off, I can go up here and hide the screen mask. Now, another new tool that we actually just released about a week or so ago is the Practice Reading Aloud tool. Now, sometimes we have a situation where we want students to do reading exercises, and we want to have them do that for maybe articles that we find on the internet, or other things online. If I go here and click on Practice Reading Aloud, it's going to enable it's going to bounce me over to this new console, take the website, and I can record, or the student could record themselves reading this passage out loud, and then when they're done, they can send it to a specific teacher for them to grade. And then you'll notice here that we have a couple of the features available as well. So we have the screen masking tool here. We also have the dictionaries and the text-to-speech.
On May 9th, 2016.
Now, we also have a tool that you may have heard of called Fluency Tutor. What the Practice Reading Aloud feature does is it gives you kind of a base level way to track reading comprehension. If you're looking for a more advanced way to score students and track their progress, we have, like I said, a tool called Fluency Tutor, which you can get off of the Chrome Web Store, and I'll show you what that looks like on the Chrome Web Store. So if I go here and type in Fluency Tutor, you can get it right off of the Chrome Web Store. And the way the licensing is done with Fluency Tutor is it's done on a per teacher basis. So as a teacher, you can go on and you can load your entire class roster onto Fluency Tutor and then assign reading assignments out to students. And as you can see here, it will grade, you can grade the students' reading comprehension and track it. And if you have further questions about Fluency Tutor, let me know. We do have free trials of the program, and you can actually go try it for free right now by going to the Chrome Web Store. Now, to jump back into the website that I was using, A very popular tool that is used across all grade levels and in college is our digital highlighters right here. The digital highlighters give us the ability to mark up a website, as you see here. And when I'm ready, I can go over here to this little pinwheel button and click Collect Highlights. And it gives me the ability to sort highlights by the position on the page or by color. And when I'm ready, I can press OK right here. And it's going to take those highlights and it's going to pull them onto a new Google Doc, sorted out by color, and then on the bottom, it's going to give me the link / source of where I got those highlights from. So it's helping your students, properly cite their research and the highlights that they're extracting off the internet. Again, a very popular tool with students. I can also go and, when I'm ready, I can clear my highlights by using this little brush right here. And another study tool I want to show you is we have a SpeechMaker tool. Now, a lot of times there are students that, they're on the go and maybe they want to make their own audiobooks. We have the ability with Read&Write for Google Chrome to make our own audiobook / MP3 files of text that we find in Google Docs, on the web. If I go here and I select this text and click on the SpeechMaker tool, you'll notice that we have this little progress bar. And when it is done, it's going to download to my computer, and I can then hear it out loud.
1. Bison are the largest mammal in North America. Male bison, called bulls, weigh up to 2,000 pounds.
Again, I think this tool is just, fantastic because it's taking, it's giving your students the ability to instantly make ebooks and audio files and take them on the go, and giving them a different way to, study the text, that you're assigning to them. You can also, go in and make your own MP3s and send it along, to the students after. We also have a tool called the Screenshot Reader, which is helpful when you encounter situations where maybe there's inaccessible text. And what I mean by that is, if I go over here, I can draw a box around this text right here, and it will read it out loud for me. Let me do that one more time, actually.
15 facts about our national mammal, the American bison. 15 facts about our national mammal, the American bison.
And then once it's done reading, I can actually press play to hear it again. And what I say about the Screenshot Reader is, if you run into inaccessible text, most of the time, more times than not, this is your definite tool that you can use to access inaccessible text, whether it's a locked PDF, image-based text. The Screenshot Reader will have your back. Now, the next thing I want to do is I'm going to go into a PDF. Now, this PDF right here is OCR scanned, and it was actually OCR scanned with our add-on called the Snapverter, which some of you may have heard of. The Snapverter is a Google add-on that Texthelp offers, where you can take inaccessible files and drop it into your Snapverter folder in your Google Drive, and it will convert it into an accessible PDF. When this PDF which is now OCR scanned, I can go over here and press play, and it will read it out loud for me.
Discuss the sources you used for your speech to persuade. Note the databases you used to find the material and note how you used the material.
And then when I'm ready, I can go over here to the typewriter annotation button, this T right here. And I have the ability to type directly onto the PDF. I can read it back to myself.
Type directly onto the PDF.
I can also use speech input to talk onto the PDF. And the word prediction tool is here. Remember this?
One, two.
So all those features are available for you. And a fun fact about this too is when I'm done typing on the PDF, if I want to, I can go up into the print button, and through Chrome you have the ability to save as PDF. When you use that, you can, I think of it as laminating the PDF essentially. You can take those annotations and it will, it will solidify them on the PDF. I can also share this with other, users, and they'll be able to see the annotations as well. It's a very popular tool. We also have the pushpin annotation, so I can leave notes. And I can leave these right on here. And then when the student is done looking at them, they can delete the annotations. There's also a click to speak button, which gives me the ability to click
Explain how to
at different parts of the PDF and read it out loud.
discuss the sources you used for your speech to persuade.
So that's my my quick general overview of the toolbar. There are other aspects to it as well. I wanted to kind of give you a peer into the future of what we're doing at Texthelp. That tool, the PDF toolbar that you just saw, is going to be redesigned this fall, and you're going to see a new version of it coming out in the future, and it's going to have a collaborative function to it so that students can collaborate on the same PDF. Again, the tools are going to look a little bit more different. They're going to put a little more polish on the toolbar. We're currently developing Read&Write for Windows version 12. For all of you higher ed attendees on the webinar right now, we are working on a new version, and what I would say is it's going to have this new kind of fresh look, kind of in the same avenue of what you saw today with Read&Write for Google Chrome. And we're also working on a usage data and learning analytics council to give to Google admins at school districts so that they can, see how their district is using the program and identify where maybe they need more professional development. So the way that Read&Write works is we no longer license it out by platform. We now offer Read&Write as an entire all-in-one subscription. And within that, you get access to Read&Write Windows, Read&Write Mac, Read&Write for Google Chrome, Read&Write iPad, and Read&Write for Android tablets. And the way that the pricing breakdown is for a single license, it's $145 a year. For a group license, it's $12 a student a year, minimum 150 students. And then for a domain license, it's $1.75 a student per year, and that's taking into account all students K through 12. And like I said, with the Read&Write subscription, it's available for all devices. And the great thing about that is, it gives you the ability to adopt it across your district, regardless of the platform you're on, the devices you're on, gives you that anytime, anywhere access to the program. And the last point, you will always have the latest version of the program, as long as you are a current customer. So we have, I guess you could say, future-proofed Read&Write. If you are interested and want to explore this further, We also have a one-time pilot opportunity available to all school districts. It can be upwards of 90 days and includes all students in your school district. It's free of charge, and I'd be happy to do a similar overview webinar, at the beginning of the pilot to show your teachers how to use it, to get them going on the right path. Pilots are a very popular way to gather valuable feedback from different student subgroups in your district, and it helps you, make a educated decision on, how you want to move forward with Read and Write for Google Chrome. The next thing I'm going to pass it over now to my friend Kent Riemann. Kent Riemann has worked in the field of assistive technology for the past 20 years in a variety of settings. He is the current project director for the Utah Assistive Technology teams, as well as an assistive technology specialist for the Utah Center for Assistive Technology, or UCAT. He has extensive experience evaluating and assessing children and adults with the appropriate selection of assistive technology tools. So I'm going to welcome Kent to the stage right now. Kent, can you hear me?
Hello. Thanks, Will. Hello, everyone out there. Thanks for joining us today for our overview of Read and Write.
So Kent, can you just give us a little bit of background of, how, what you've learned about Read and Write over the years, and, why, Read and Write has, become one of your, AT tools of choice, with students?
Yeah, sure. So we have a lot of assistive technology team members, the UATT team members that have been around for quite some time, and you probably remember years ago when we've typically used Kurzweil in the past, and Read and Write, and some other programs that can help with that text-to-speech, which we've always known is really beneficial. But is what we're loving now is this ease of access. We love that it's across platforms. A lot of the districts have moved to the Google Classroom or Google Docs, and just where it's incorporated there into the Chrome browser, it's just become really fabulous for us. It's cut down the price quite a bit, which has been fabulous also. I think in the past we've used, like I said, Kurzweil or Read and Write for students or individuals that we might send back to work that will read their text back to them, but it was so expensive in the past. And your pricing structure that you guys have come out with is just, it's great. Where we're seeing quite a few school districts throughout the state incorporate this, even district-wide. We've got a couple out there, Kane and San Juan schools have purchased this for their whole school. And your pricing structure is really, really great for charter schools also, where they can incorporate version for it for each student in the classroom. I talked to Steve, our team leader down in San Juan, and he pitched it to his IT staff as, the cost of like a highlighter or a marker for a student at $1.75, and I just don't think you can beat that at all. So we love that it's across platforms, that the students can log into it at school, they can go home and use it also, and then that price point is just killer. You can't beat that, $1.75, even if you get the 150 seats. It's a pretty good deal also for students.
Now Ken, could you talk a little bit about what you're seeing in the field in terms of benefits to the students, maybe some experiences that you've had with the program, or things that you're hearing from your colleagues at UATT, and I think our attendees would be happy to hear that.
Yeah, sure. So our focus in the past, our project's been around for upwards of 30 years, and years ago we focused a lot on just communication, augmentative communication, and it's probably in the last 7 or 8 years where we kind of made a shift where the Chromebooks have come out, the iPads, the Chrome browser. I mean, there's so many different ways to that schools incorporate learning today. We see that this is just super beneficial, and a lot of our team members have kind of incorporated this, and we've gone away from just doing augmentative communication to more of like the UDL, or helping students more with reading and writing. And I bet that's where we're seeing the majority of our referrals that come in are students that are struggling with reading and writing. We're supporting those students a lot better these days. And I think Eric Ingar, he's using it up in the Davis district, and in talking to him, you know, they're capturing those students that are on 504s or IEPs that have reading and writing difficulties, and this is helping it with that. But as they're pushing that out to more and more of their students that don't necessarily have an IEP or 504, it's benefiting a lot of those students that aren't being really captured as a student that has a learning disability. And I could probably attest to that. As I grew up and went through school, I probably have some slight learning disabilities, but it was nobody ever really caught that. I guess I just figured I was kind of slow going up through school, right? But it was in college when I started recognizing, man, I've got some learning disabilities, and I just found ways myself to overcome those, where I think now having this product for somebody that's just struggling with some of that reading and writing, it can be very beneficial for those students that aren't necessarily being identified as a struggling reading and writer, with reading and writing, I'm sorry.
Now,
so we're seeing that throughout the state, and we love that we can push it out to a lot more students that way than just focus in on the individual, even though that's very, very important that we look at their needs.
So Ken, you know, I have a question, because, like I said, we do have a couple of folks from, you know, higher ed institutions on the webinar. What would you say, you know, to, you know, your colleagues in higher ed that maybe they haven't encountered students that have used, you know, Chromebooks yet, but what would you say to those that, you know, your higher ed colleagues that are, you know, in the next couple of years, there are going to be students that, you know, when they were in K through 12, the only thing they used was, you know, Google Apps for Education, or what they're calling G Suite now, and are showing up to colleges with the only device they ever use is a Chromebook. What would you say to them?
Well, I don't know. That's a tough question. And they're probably well aware that with so many different devices and bring your own device type, a lot of the students are seeing that some of that's built into it. We're seeing a lot more students use Read and Write, and their experience with Read and Write for Google, just because we're pushing it out to so many of our students.
Yeah, I think we lost you. I think your microphone cut out.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Oh, I can hear you now. Yep. It sounded like you fell down. Are you all right?
Did it? I'm fine. It was maybe our internet here that just leaked out. Well, I don't know.
Well, Ken, thank you so much for your insight, and I look forward to, you know, working with you in the future. And what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to jump over into something that you had mentioned to me the other day about, and you can stay unmuted and chime in for sure.
Okay.
You had asked me, you know, you have a lot of people coming up to you saying, you know, how, you know, we got Read and Write, you know, we deployed Read and Write for Google Chrome, but, you know, what do we do now? And I think that's a great question. So I just wanted to lay out a couple of points of best practices, you know, when we're actually, you know, getting the word out about Read and Write. And what I would say first is, you know, bring everyone to the table. Do that as early as possible. Set up a meeting with curriculum, your IT directors, special ed, ELL. Sit down around a table and say, hey, you know, our department is looking at Read and Write. This is what it can do. I think it might be able to help, your group of students, or, what do you think about this, Mr. IT Director? Bringing everyone to the table is such a crucial step from the beginning. The next point, plan, plan, plan. I cannot stress that enough. Come up with an idea of, come up with an idea of what you want to do in terms of who do you want to roll it out to first, how are you going to do the training, maybe have a champion at each school in the school district that you get really trained up on the program. Something that I suggest, when you first implement the program is we have high quality professional development available that you can purchase when you get your initial license. We have on-site training available, but we also have a popular option called training via webinar. It's 3 hours long, and I've seen a lot of school districts, you can have up to 25 people on that professional development. They will get a person from each school to come to that, get them really trained up on the program, and then they will go out and share their wisdom and knowledge about the program to their other teachers in there. So the champion system has really worked well. My last point, I've already kind of touched upon it. Organizing training and professional development sessions is, the key to success. Getting people trained up on it is big, and we have just made that even easier. We have something called the Texthelp training portal. It is free to use. All you have to do is log in with your Google account, and you'll be able to take courses for free, and after every course you will earn a badge. So if I go here and I type in training.texthelp.com and I go, it will bring me to the Texthelp training portal website. I'm going to sign in with my Google account, and you'll see all the courses available, and on the drop down menu we have Read and Write for Google Chrome, and it's broken down into a couple sections: a Google Doc training section, a web toolbar training section, a PDF and EPUB toolbar training section. And like I said, after every one of them, you can get a badge. So you have a way to track the professional development. And this is just a super popular tool. We just released it last month, and every day more and more people are utilizing it. The last thing I will say too, and what will really help when you're first doing implementations or thinking about Read and Write for Google Chrome, is activating your free teacher account, because Read and Write for Google Chrome is free for teachers, and all you have to do is go to the Chrome Web Store, download Read and Write for Google Chrome, and the second step is to fill out a free teacher account form. And that will tell our system to, authorize that Google account that you added Read and Write for Google Chrome to. And at that point, you'll get premium access. I will send a follow-up email to all attendees with directions on how to set up your free teacher account. And feel free to, ask me any questions about activation. I'm going to go now into our question panel, and it looks like we don't have any questions at this time, unless anyone would like to ask a few questions. Feel free to type it into the chat box. Nothing? You guys are a great crowd. Going once? Going twice? All right, I know it's the end of the day and you want to get going. Oh wait, we have one question. Oh yes, how it's pushed out to, thank you Ken, how it's pushed out to students. Robert, yes, I can go over the pricing structure again. Let me jump back to my pricing slide. So there's 3 levels. There's a single license, $145 a year. That's one student. The group license is $12 a student a year, minimum purchase of 150 students, and the domain license is $1.75 a student per year. It's renewed on a 12-month cycle. And the way that the program is pushed out is with the single license, you can go to our website and purchase it directly, and whatever email account that you put in during the purchase is the one that it would authorize. The group license, the way that that is done is we have a group deployment tool which you would download at the time of purchase, and it gives you the ability to, so if you purchased 150 group licenses, you would be able to add students to a Texthelp user group, and you could add and remove them at any time. The group license is an option that has been utilized by a couple of UATT teams across the state, actually, and it gives you that flexibility to add and remove students if they graduate or move districts. You can also add, you can also make your group larger in increments of 30. So if you wanted to add from 150, you could go up to 180, et cetera, et cetera. With the domain license, it's pushed out through a forced app install in the Google Admin Console, and it's very easy to do. It shouldn't take you more than 10 to 15 minutes to complete it. Looks like we have another question here. Oh, and is there a minimum number for the domain license? That is a great question. So the minimum purchase for a domain license is 350 students. But if you are under 350 students, say you're a charter school and you only have 200 students, that's okay. We would charge you at the 350 student flat rate. And we've had many charter schools take advantage of that because charter schools are essentially their own school districts, independent entities. So yes, if you are a charter school out there, we'd be happy to work with you on licensing. We've done it many times before. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for taking time out of your election day afternoon. Again, my name is Will Lewis. Feel free to email me at w.lewis@texthelp.com. If you're active on Twitter, feel free to follow me at th_Will. I'm going to send an email after this webinar with a bunch of resources to help you get going. Again, thank you so much for meeting with me today. Kent, thank you for contributing and telling us about your experiences with the program. And I look forward to working with your school district in the coming school year. So thank you, everyone, and have a good night.